continue with our teaching, learning Hilchos Yesodei HaTorah in chapter 1 and halacha number 2. And it says, a second. Last halacha was 2 lines, and we spent more than 1 hour explaining. Right, and of course we explained only in the basic terms. And now the second halacha is 1 line. Let's see. If one would imagine that he, meaning Hashem, does not exist, no other being could possibly exist. Right? So meaning Hashem does not depend on anybody. And I think that the next halacha is basis for our clip. When we answer to these people who said God needs you, Hashem needs every Yid, right? So that's how we answer. It's actually next halacha, chapter 1, halacha 3, right? But here it says clearly again, if one can imagine that he does not exist, how imagine that Hashem does not exist, right? No other being could possibly exist. Commentary. On simple level, Rambam is explaining that since the creation of ex nihilo, the existence of all entities depends on God. Depends on God. Sorry, I apologize. He does not exist. Where he does not exist, they also not exist. One second. So, Yale al Kadas, which literally means raise upon your knowledge, one's knowledge, okay, allows for a different interpretation. If one were to elevate one's thinking and conceive of God's only in lofty transcendent terms, without allowing for a dimension of divinity, which is in existence, and can therefore serve as a source of for creation, then no other entity could exist. If it is his willingness, meaning Hashem willingness, to lower his Sam to the level of a first existence that allows for the potential for our existence. Directly after stating the foundation of all foundations, Rambam feels it necessary to teach this concept because the two complement each other. God's being on the level of first existence generate the potential to elevate the world through our Torah practice, while transcendent level of his existence generate the potential to negate the concept of the world separate from godliness. Hadran also Sefer Mishneh Torah of Lubavitch Rebbe. Okay. So this Menis Friedman and his girlfriends looks like they skip these lessons from Lubavitch Rebbe. Okay, so let's see what it says here. Sorry. Okay, so from the beginning, halacha number 2, chapter 1, halacha 2, and we're going to over this explanation again. So again, and it says, if one would imagine that he, meaning Hashem, does not exist, no other being could possibly exist. So how is it possible to imagine? I'm not sure. Right, but if it's possible that he does not exist, meaning meaning it is person has to explain imagine how nothing exists. How is it imagined? How can you imagine? Yeah, maybe they put it in a picture, some like after the atomic war or something. yeah, there is still the earth. There's I think this is still around. Maybe things lay in ruins, but still there is something exists. So how to exist nothing? Nothingness is impossible, as I said before. Okay, so meaning for a person, it should be on the same level. If he can imagine that God does not exist, so he should be able to imagine that nothing exists. How is it possible? Still, right? For us, it's not comprehensible. So me personally, like I would see that the huge space of nothing. But yes, this space has limitation, right? So still, it's not nothingness. Okay. So very interesting. So again, from the beginning, and we're going to extend Bezras Hashem. So we need a lot of siyata dishmaya in all of this, always, but in learning of these things especially. Okay, because there is a very, very deep concept. That's why I was postponing it for some time. So we get more knowledge, more base for to get up to this level. So again, on a simple level, the Rambam explaining that since that this creation ex nihilo is something from nothing, the existence of all entities depends on God. So Hashem created them, and He's continue feeding them, right? Continue recreating them. Where He does not exist, meaning Hashem, they would not exist. So they would not exist to begin with. It would not continue to exist even after he created them. So if Hashem would not exist, Chas v'shalom. Right, and this concept, Yale al Hadas, right, which translated raise upon one's knowledge. I mean, literally. Allows for a different interpretation, right? So what is different interpretation? If one were to elevate one's thinking to conceive God's only in lofty transcendent terms, so meaning if a person can see the guy, and that's I think many people see it like something very high, very very removed, and not to be involved in this world, like something like. So they would these people would see Hashem as something like far away, removed, something like has nothing to do with this world, but something to someone, something to learn about. Like it's somebody sent us mythologies, but about the Greeks and how a person was trying to prove the point from a Greek mythology. Okay, so unfortunately, that's how some people see Hashem, Chas v'shalom, but that's what it is. So meaning removed from this world, something like external. Right. So again, if one were to elevate one's thinking and conceive Hashem is in lofty transcendent terms, without allowing for a dimension of divinity in existence, right, and can therefore serve as a source of creation, then no other entity can exist. So how is it possible? I'm not sure how is it possible, but if person can think about Hashem existence separately in this holy terms, so meaning nothing can exist besides Hashem. I'm not sure how to simply explain it, but that's what it means. Right? Only he can create things. Okay. If his willingness, so meaning we cannot separate Hashem completely from this creation, right? So he's separated, and as we said before, he's not part of it, but he is present in this creation. It is his willingness to lower himself to the law of first existence. So, right. So Hashem, humble himself, lower himself in the first existence, and from his lower first existence, everything came into existence, including potential of being existed. Right, that allows us for the potential for our existence. Exactly. Okay, continue. Directly after stating the foundation of all foundations, so meaning the first halacha, Rambam feels it necessary to teach this concept because the two complement each other, right? So meaning the foundation of all foundation, right? And that without Hashem nothing would be, right? God being on the level of first existence, so after he minimized himself, first existence, that from whom everything came into being, right, generates the potential to elevate the world through the Torah practice. Right, so 1 second. God's being on the level of first existence generates the potential to elevate the world through the Torah practice, while transcend the level of God existence generate potential to negate the concept of the world separate from godliness. I'm not sure how to understand the sentence, but let's try it again. God's being into the level of first existence generate the potential to elevate the world through the Torah practice. I'm not sure what is the connection here. Tell the truth. I mean, okay. We elevate Torah. I mean, existence is one thing, and that we have to observe Torah is, for me, it's like parallel things. Parallel, okay. So not everybody have to observe the Torah, right? I mean, maybe in some sense they do. Nochites do, animals, like inanimate objects, they also like follow the laws of the Torah, meaning for them the laws of the Torah are laws of creation. While the transcends level of God's existence, right, generate the potential to negate the concept of the world separate from godliness. So meaning the world, even though it is physical, is not separated from godliness. So this Torah, that's I think the connection. So the Torah is something that bring like all the pieces together, meaning physical, right, physical world and spiritual. So which is comes from the same Hashem. Okay, we stop here.